turns out that young women in America aren't sipping the complicit Kool-Aid and actually have a pretty unfavorable view of the first daughter, Ivanka Trump. Now, in a recent SurveyMonkey poll, they found that only 21% of young women, 18 to 24, have a favorable view of Ivanka. So let's look at this age breakdown. So as you can see on the far left, that's favorable. Then 52% have an unfavorable view of her. 26% don't know enough to say, and 2% no response. And then her favorability actually increases as women get older, which is really interesting. And I want to come back to this in a second, but first I want to look at the male breakdown, because men actually have a much more favorable view of Ivanka. As you can see, it sort of increases there. Going back to young women, 18 to 24, there's a partisan breakdown here. Republican women, 67% favorable, 17% unfavorable, and then 9% favorable for Democrats and 73% unfavorable there as well. And this is actually really important, right? Because I think Ivanka is sort of held accountable for a lot of being like the woman, right? I think she's like the token woman in the White House, essentially, and besides Kellyanne Conway to some extent. But Ivanka is really held accountable for a lot of any sort of policy, anti-woman policy or anti-woman rhetoric and things like that. And so it makes sense that I think that she would be unfavorable amongst young women who are predominantly more liberal, right?
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple of things here. As you point out, progressives are so much more liberal. I'm sorry, young people are so much more liberal or progressive than previous generations that older generations have a hard time comprehending it. They still want to talk about left, right, and all that stuff. There's very little right to speak of in 18 to 34-year-olds.
Right.
So, and for the mainstream media, it's hard for them to get it through their head. They're like, what do you mean, Trump's president? So Breitbart must be doing great among the kids. Which 18 to 34-year-olds are looking at Breitbart, right? Yeah. So there's some teenage boys who are trolls online and enjoy being trolls. But that's a really
I'm familiar with them.
Yes, we're all familiar with them. So yes, you have some 15 to 17-year-olds who are knuckleheads and enjoy that stuff. But it's a tiny minority. So of course, among young women, she's not going to be liked because they're very progressive and she's not. The second part of this is that she's a fraud, and it's harder to trick millennials because they actually get their information online. So they can actually look up what her policy positions are. And they can see with their own eyes that she's supporting Donald Trump, who doesn't do any of the things that she claims she's in favor of. Whereas in the mainstream media, they do these narratives, they call them narratives, right? And the narrative for Ivanka Trump is she's a moderating influence on Donald Trump, and she's helping him with women and with young people. Why? Because she's a woman and young, relatively young. But you have no evidence of that. We have polling now that indicates the complete opposite. But TV guys will say it anyway because they do their narrative whether it's true or not true.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting because a lot of the times when I hear people speak favorably about Ivanka, it's older women, which I understand, and they're coming from a different sort of, let's be real, like feminist background where they're thinking like, oh, we need to support other women, and she is this young woman who's having a say on him taking care of the people who were chemically attacked in Syria and things like that, and she's a businesswoman and all these other things. But for a lot of younger women, we don't just necessarily like look at a woman and blindly and say we have to support them, because there's a lot of women out there who spew a lot of hatred and bigotry, and this is a particular woman who is, if she is supposedly moderating the president, she's not doing a very good job at it.
Yeah, I think that it's important to highlight the notion that many people will often excuse these ratings by simply stating that, oh, it's because she's Donald Trump's daughter and people just don't like Donald Trump, so they're necessarily not going to like his daughter. And that may well be the case in some instances, but as you mentioned, Cenk, it's important that she's actually held accountable because she does have a role specifically, and as she's pushing forward this narrative that she's there to push forward women's rights and that she's actually for a lot of things that are going forward to try and, I would say, improve Donald Trump's previous policies that we know he's not been in favor of women and he hasn't pushed forward policies to help women as he's looking to roll back Planned Parenthood. If she is responsible for that, she's not doing a good job at that. So rather than scrutinize her because simply put, oh, she's Donald Trump's daughter. No. She's got a role. If she's specifically when it comes to women involved in politics, we're not going to sugarcoat around the idea that just because she's Donald Trump's daughter, she gets an excuse and that people just don't like her because they don't like Donald Trump. She has a role that has to be held accountable for, specifically with young women looking for aspiring role models. At the moment, she's not one. And that's because her duties, she's not fulfilling those duties that she said she was going to do.
I mean, to back up what both of you are saying, proof's in the pudding. So I don't know if she's a moderating influence. I hope she is. I see articles written about how she's fighting against Steve Bannon behind the scenes. And if she winds up helping to get Steve Bannon out of the White House, then I'll give her credit for that. Okay, so credit where credit is due. But in terms of women's issues, she hasn't helped at all. Right. So even if she intends to do well, she hasn't.
Yeah.
She helped Donald Trump get elected, and he's been disastrous for women's rights. I mean, look, I can give you 1,000 examples. Let me just give one here. Look, you know that he cut funding for programs on reproductive rights, and even ones that barely had anything to do with abortion, as Republican presidents do, et cetera. But one program he cut had nothing to do with abortion at all. It was a program aimed to help women internationally. It was a United Nations program, and one of the things that it does is it helps the fight against genital mutilation. And he cut the funding for that anyway. So if Ivanka Trump says she's helping women behind the scenes, well, we haven't seen it in front of the scenes at all yet. Our journalism drive is almost over. It ends in Trump's first 100 days. We need to hire more reporters and more watchdogs. Let's do that right now at tytnetwork.com/go.